"Please, sir, don't hurt me, I can't walk," Maya screamed, shielding her twin daughters as a wealthy man watched them under the pouring rain. She was injured, homeless, and terrified that he might be there to harm them. What she didn't know was that this stranger was fate itself approaching. But before we see how this terrifying moment turns into an unbelievable miracle, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is. Now subscribe to the channel and let's get to the full story. "Mom, why are you walking funny?" Lily asked. Her small face creased with worry as Maya limped through the apartment door. Maya Johnson froze, one hand pressed against her lower back, the other still gripping the doorknob for support. The pain shooting up her spine made it hard to think. She hadn't expected the twins to be awake yet. "It's nothing, sweetheart," Maya said, forcing a smile. "Just a little fall at work. Where's your sister?" "Daisy's still sleeping," Lily whispered, pointing to the mattress in the corner of their one-bedroom apartment where her identical twin lay curled under a thin blanket. Maya nodded and slowly lowered herself onto the worn sofa, biting her lip to keep from crying out. The twins didn't need to know how bad it really was. They didn't need to know that their whole world had just collapsed. 5 hours earlier, at 5 o'clock that morning, Maya had woken as usual in the darkness of their small Dorchester apartment. Tuesday was cleaning day at the Stevens mansion, which meant the marble staircase needed polishing. Maya hated that job. It hurt her knees and back. But Mrs. Stevens was very particular about those stairs. Maya had moved quietly through her morning routine, careful not to wake the girls as she dressed and prepared their breakfast. 2 peanut butter sandwiches wrapped in paper towels, 2 apples, and 2 juice boxes packed neatly in their backpacks. She'd left a note on the counter telling them to brush their teeth and promising to make their favorite spaghetti for dinner. The rain had started as she walked to the bus stop. By the time she changed buses downtown, her coat was soaked through and her shoes squeaked with each step. When she finally arrived at the Stevens Beacon Hill mansion, she was 15 minutes late. "You know we have a schedule in this house, Maya," Eleanor Stevens had said coldly, not looking up from her magazine as Maya hung her wet coat. "Richard has an important dinner tonight, and I need everything perfect." "Yes, Mrs. Stevens, I'm sorry about the bus delay," Maya had replied, keeping her voice even. Now, sitting on her sofa hours later, Maya replayed the moment of her fall over and over. She had been on her knees at the top of the marble staircase, polishing cloth in hand. Her back had been bothering her all morning, a dull ache from yesterday's work. The marble was slippery from polish, and when she shifted her weight, her hand slipped. She remembered the terrible feeling of falling, tumbling down 15 hard steps, her body hitting each one until she landed in a heap at the bottom. The pain had been immediate and blinding. "Maya, what have you done?" Eleanor Stevens had appeared above her, perfectly styled hair and immaculate white pants, her face showing annoyance rather than concern. I fell," Maya had gasped, trying and failing to stand. "I think I need help." "Well, you've gotten polish all over the lower stairs," Eleanor had said, "and look at the time. I have my charity lunch in 30 minutes. "Mrs. Stevens, I can't get up," Maya had whispered, tears forming in her eyes. What happened next still seemed unreal. Instead of calling for help, Eleanor had informed Maya that her services were no longer needed. "This level of clumsiness is unacceptable. I'll have your final check mailed." "Oh, but I need a doctor," Maya had pleaded. "That's not our responsibility," Eleanor had replied. "Your carelessness caused this fall. I suggest you call someone to help you leave." Now, as Lily watched her with worried eyes, Maya wondered how she would tell her daughters that she had lost her job, the job that paid their rent, the job that put food on their table. "Mom?" Lily's voice pulled her back to the present. "Should I wake up Daisy?" "It's almost time for school." "No, honey, let her sleep a little longer," Maya said. "No school today. I'm thinking we'll have a special day at home." Maya couldn't possibly get the girls to school today. She could barely walk, and she needed time to figure out what to do next. Like a vacation? Lily's face brightened. Something like that. Maya nodded, reaching for her phone. She scrolled through her contacts. Who could she call? Her neighbors all worked during the day. She had no family in Boston. Her mother Jessica had passed away 5 years ago in Memphis, and there had never been a father in the picture. Maya opened the health insurance app on her phone, knowing what she would find. Coverage terminated last month when the Stevens cut her hours, dropping her below the minimum requirement. She'd been meaning to apply for state insurance but hadn't found the time between her cleaning jobs. "Mom, can we have pancakes for our vacation breakfast?" Lily asked, climbing onto the sofa beside her. The movement of the cushion sent a fresh wave of pain through Maya's back, and she couldn't hold back a gasp. "Mom?" Lily's eyes widened. "It's okay, baby," Maya said, "but maybe cereal would be better for breakfast. Can you get it yourself? The bowls are on the low shelf." As Lily went to the kitchen area, Maya searched online for free clinics. The nearest one had a 3-day wait. She tried calling her weekend employer, Mrs. Washington, but got no answer. Daisy woke up and joined her sister in the kitchen, their whispers and the clinking of cereal bowls creating a normal morning soundtrack that contrasted with the panic growing in Maya's chest. Her rent was due in 2 weeks. She had exactly $243 in her checking account. The pain in her back suggested something serious, something that required medical attention she couldn't afford. The twins brought their cereal to the coffee table and sat on the floor, giggling about their unexpected day off from school. "After breakfast, can we go to the park?" Daisy asked. Maya looked at her daughters, identical with their warm brown skin and curly hair. Lily's pulled back in a practical ponytail, Daisy's left loose around her face. They were everything to her. Since the day they were born 8 years ago, she had worked non-stop to provide for them, to keep them safe, to give them stability. "Not today, sweetheart," she said. "Mom needs to rest her back. But we can watch a movie together." The girls cheered, easily pleased by this small treat. Maya tried to smile with them, but her mind was racing. The following days passed in a blur of pain and worry. Maya called every contact in her phone, seeking work she could do while injured. She tried online applications for desk jobs, but lacked the required experience. Her back pain made it impossible to stand for more than a few minutes, eliminating most service jobs. A week after her fall, the first overdue notice arrived. 2 weeks later, the final warning came with a notice of eviction proceedings. Each night after the twins fell asleep, Maya counted and recounted their money, stretching it for essentials: food, pain medicine, the electric bill. She sold their small television and her mother's gold earrings, the only nice thing she owned. 3 weeks after the fall, Maya sat on the edge of the mattress she shared with her daughters, holding the final eviction notice in trembling hands. Tomorrow at 9 in the morning they would have nowhere to live, no home, no job, no money, and a back injury that left her barely able to walk. The twins slept peacefully beside her, unaware that their world was about to change completely. Maya watched their chests rise and fall, their faces relaxed in sleep, and made a silent promise. "We will survive this. I will find a way." Outside, rain began to fall against the window, a gentle patter that would soon become the soundtrack of their new life. The rain continued through the night and into the morning, a steady backdrop to the worst day of Maya's life. When the landlord knocked at exactly 9 o'clock, Maya had already packed their belongings into 3 garbage bags. "Time's up, Ms. Johnson," Mr. Patel said, not unkindly. "I gave you as much time as I could." Maya nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. The twins stood silently beside the garbage bags, wearing their backpacks and identical expressions of confusion. "Where are we going, Mom?" Daisy asked as they walked slowly down the stairs, Maya gripping the railing with each painful step. "We're going to stay in the car for a little while," Maya said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Just until I find us a new place." "Like camping?" Lily asked. Maya forced a smile. "Something like that." Their car sat in the parking lot, a faded blue Honda Civic that was already 12 years old when Maya bought it. Now the seats were worn and the heater only worked sometimes, but it started reliably. Today, that was all that mattered. The twins helped load their garbage bags into the trunk. Maya's back screamed in protest as she lowered herself into the driver's seat. She had enough money for gas and maybe 3 more days of food. After that, she couldn't think that far ahead yet. "Can we still go to school?" Daisy asked as they pulled away from the apartment building. "Of course," Maya said firmly. "Nothing changes about school. Education is your ticket to a better life." Maya drove to Lincoln Park, parking near the public restrooms. She'd chosen this spot carefully, close to the girls' school with bathrooms they could use, and police rarely checked the parked cars here. "Listen to me," she said, turning to face the twins in the back seat. "This is temporary. But we need some new rules, okay?" The girls nodded, their eyes wide. "First, we don't tell anyone we're living in our car. Not your teachers, not your friends. If anyone asks, we're staying with a relative while we look for a new apartment." "Why can't we tell?" Lily asked. Maya hesitated. "Because some people might not understand. They might think you should live somewhere else, maybe even with a different family." "You mean they'd take us away from you?" Daisy's voice trembled. "That won't happen," Maya said firmly. "Not ever. But to make sure, we need to keep this our secret, okay?" "Okay," the twins chorused. That first night in the car was the hardest. The seats didn't recline fully and the space was cramped for 3 people. The twins curled up in the back seat, sharing the only blanket Maya had managed to bring. Maya sat in the driver's seat, unable to find a position that didn't send pain shooting through her back. Rain drummed on the roof and the windows fogged with their breath. Maya cracked a window for air, letting in cold dampness that made them all shiver. "Mom?" Lily whispered in the darkness. "I'm scared." "Me too," added Daisy. "Come here," Maya said, reaching awkwardly between the front seats to take their hands. "When I was a little girl, my mom told me that being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing what you need to do, even when you're scared." "Are you scared?" Daisy asked. Maya squeezed their hands. "Yes, but we're together, and that makes me brave enough for anything." Eventually, the twins fell asleep, but Maya remained awake, listening to every sound outside the car, planning their next steps. By morning, she had created a schedule. "Wake up, girls," Maya called softly as the first light appeared. "Time to get ready for school." Their morning routine took shape in the park's public restroom. Maya stood guard while the twins took turns washing at the sink, brushing their teeth and changing into their school clothes. She helped them style their hair and checked their backpacks. "Remember to eat all your lunch today," Maya reminded them, "and I'll pick you up at the usual spot." After dropping the girls at school, Maya parked in a different location and began her daily search for work. She used her phone to apply for jobs, receptionist, data entry, anything she might be able to do sitting down. But each application asked for experience she didn't have or required standing. By noon, her phone battery was low and her back pain was intense. She drove to a fast food restaurant and counted out money for the cheapest meal on the menu. A single hamburger she would save half of for dinner. As she ate, a job listing caught her eye. Evening customer service representative. Work from home. The pay was minimal, but it was something. Maya completed the application, her heart lifting slightly. This one she might qualify for. The afternoon brought a new problem. A police officer tapped on her car window while she was parked near the library, using their free Wi-Fi. "You can't stay here, ma'am," he said. 2-hour limit." Maya nodded and started the car, driving aimlessly until school pickup time. She couldn't waste gas, but she couldn't risk attracting attention either. The twins seemed quieter than usual when they climbed into the car. "How was school?" Maya asked, passing back the half hamburgers she'd saved. "Ms. Wilson asked why I was so tired," Daisy said, breaking the burger in half to share with Lily. I said I was watching TV too late. Good answer, Maya said, relieved. But I fell asleep in math class, Daisy continued, her voice small. Ms. Wilson said she wants to talk to you. Maya's stomach knotted with worry. I'll call her tomorrow. That night, they parked in a different spot behind a shopping center. Maya showed the twins how to wash their uniforms in the public bathroom sink the next morning, rolling the wet clothes in paper towels to press out water before hanging them over the seats to dry during the day. After a week of living in the car, their routine had solidified, but new problems emerged. Maya's back pain grew worse without proper treatment. The online job fell through. Their money dwindled to just $27. Mom, we need more blankets, Lily said one particularly cold night as they huddled together. I can't feel my toes. I know, sweetheart, Maya said, swallowing 2 pain pills dry. She was taking more than she should, but it was the only way to function. Tomorrow's Friday, payday for some people. I'll look for work at the shopping center again. The next morning, Maya's phone rang while she was helping the girls get ready. The caller ID showed Cambridge Elementary School. Hello? Maya answered, walking a few steps away from the twins. Miss Johnson? This is Patricia Brown, the school counselor. Do you have a moment to talk about Lily and Daisy? Maya's heart raced. Is everything okay? Their teachers have noticed some changes in behavior. They're unusually quiet, often tired, and yesterday both girls were wearing damp uniforms. We're concerned about their home situation. Maya closed her eyes briefly. Everything's fine. We're staying with my cousin right now while looking for a new apartment. It's a bit crowded, that's all. The counselor paused. Ms. Johnson, if your family needs assistance, the school has resources that might help. Thank you, but we're managing, Maya said firmly. The girls are just adjusting to the temporary arrangements. After hanging up, Maya leaned against the car, her legs weak. They were attracting attention. Soon there would be questions she couldn't answer. That afternoon, rain returned, heavier than before. The temperature dropped sharply as November weather settled in. Maya turned on the car heater during dinner. 2 shared packets of crackers from the school cafeteria that Lily had saved, but turned it off afterward to save gas. Why did you turn off the heat, Mom? Daisy asked, shivering. We need to save gas, honey, Maya explained gently. We'll use the blanket instead. That night was the coldest yet. The 3 of them huddled in the back seat under their single blanket, the twins pressed against Maya for warmth. Rain pounded on the roof, and wind rocked the small car. Maya dozed fitfully, waking often to check on the girls and rub their cold hands. Around midnight, she reached to start the car for a brief blast of heat, and nothing happened. The dashboard lights flickered once, then went dark. She tried again. Nothing. The battery was dead. A wave of panic washed over Maya as she realized they had lost their only source of heat on the coldest, rainiest night yet. Water began to seep through a small crack in the window seal, dripping onto Lily's shoulder. Mom? Lily woke, her voice trembling from cold. What's happening? The car won't start, Maya whispered, trying to keep the fear from her voice. I'm so cold, Daisy murmured, her teeth chattering. Maya looked at her daughter's shivering forms, then at the rain streaming down the windows. The temperature display on her phone showed 41 degrees and falling. They couldn't stay here. Get your coats on, Maya said, making a sudden decision. We need to find somewhere else tonight. Where will we go? Lily asked, pulling on her thin jacket. Maya had no answer as she helped the girls out of the car. The rain soaked them immediately, and the wind cut through their clothes. Her back screamed in pain as she limped forward, holding both twins' hands. Just walk with me, she said, heading toward the lights of the main street. We'll find someplace dry. The rain fell in sheets as Maya and the twins staggered through the darkness. Each step sent stabbing pain through Maya's back, but she gripped her daughter's hands tightly, pulling them forward against the wind. "Mom, I can't feel my feet anymore," Daisy cried, her voice barely audible over the storm. "Just a little farther," Maya promised, though she had no destination in mind. They had been walking for almost 20 minutes, their clothes completely soaked. They had reached the Back Bay area, where elegant shops lined the streets. Everything was closed at this late hour, but Maya searched desperately for any awning or doorway that might offer shelter from the downpour. "Look, Mom!" Lily pointed ahead. "That big store has a roof thing out front." Through the rain, Maya could make out a large storefront with a deep awning. Thompson Tech, the illuminated sign read above a display of computers and phones. The recessed entrance created a small, dry area, protected from the wind and rain. "There, girls. We can stay there tonight," Maya said, guiding them toward the store. They huddled together in the doorway, shivering violently. Maya pulled the twins close, trying to share what little body heat remained between them. Their wet clothes made it impossible to get warm. "Well, why can't we go inside?" Daisy stuttered through chattering teeth. "The store is closed, honey," Maya explained, wringing water from the girls' jackets. "But we're out of the rain now. That's better, right?" The twins nodded, but their blue lips and shaking bodies told a different story. Maya dug through her purse, now soaked through, and found a pack of tissues. She used them to dry the girls' faces and hands. "Listen to me," she said firmly. "We need to get as dry as we can. Take off your wet jackets." "But we'll be colder," Lily protested. "Just for a minute," Maya insisted. "We'll wring them out and they'll be less wet when you put them back on." They followed her instructions, shivering harder without their jackets. Maya wrung out each piece of clothing as best she could before helping them put everything back on. It wasn't much, but it was all she could do. "Try to sleep," Maya told them, positioning herself so that each girl could lean against her. "I'll keep watch." The twins eventually dozed off, exhaustion overcoming discomfort. Maya remained awake, her back throbbing, listening to every sound on the empty street. Occasionally a car would pass, its headlights briefly illuminating their huddled forms before moving on. The digital clock in the store window read 11:45 when Maya heard footsteps approaching. Her heart raced as a tall figure appeared through the rain, walking directly toward them. "Girls, wake up," she whispered urgently, pushing the twins behind her despite the pain it caused. "Stay behind me." The figure came closer, a man in an expensive suit beneath an umbrella. He stopped a few feet away, looking at them with an expression Maya couldn't read in the dim light. "Please," Maya called out, her voice shaking. "Please don't hurt us. I can't run. I can't even walk properly." The man took a step closer, then stopped when he saw Maya's protective stance. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said, his voice deep and calm. "This is my store. I was checking the security system when I saw you on the cameras." Maya didn't relax her position. "We'll leave right away. Please don't call the police." "In this weather?" The man closed his umbrella and moved under the awning, staying a respectful distance away. "I'm not calling anyone. I came to help." For the first time, Maya could see him clearly. He was tall, well-dressed, with gray streaks at his temples. His face was serious, but not threatening. "I'm Aaron Thompson," he said. "I own Thompson Tech." "You own this whole store?" Daisy asked, peeking around Maya's arm. Aaron nodded, his expression softening as he looked at the twins. "This one and 6 others. What are you doing out here in this storm?" Before Maya could answer, Lily sneezed violently 3 times in succession. "Our car broke down," Maya said reluctantly. "We had nowhere else to go." Aaron frowned, looking at their soaked clothes and pale faces. "You can't stay here. You'll get sick." He paused, studying Maya's face more closely. "Have we met before?" "You look familiar." "No," Maya said firmly. "We've never met." Aaron continued to look at her curiously before turning his attention back to the twins. "How long have you been in the rain?" "Forever," Lily said dramatically. "About an hour," Maya corrected. "Look, We're fine. We just need to stay here until morning. Aaron shook his head. You're all soaking wet. It's 40 degrees and these children are freezing. He stepped back and gestured to a black car parked across the street. I have a driver waiting. Let me take you somewhere warm. Maya stiffened. We don't need charity. Mom, Daisy whispered, tugging at Maya's sleeve. I can't feel my toes anymore. Maya looked down at her daughters, their wet hair plastered to their heads, their thin clothes soaked through, their small bodies shaking uncontrollably. Whatever pride she had left wasn't worth their health. Where? She asked Aaron suspiciously. The Meridian Hotel is 2 blocks from here. I know the manager. They'll have rooms available. Maya hesitated. We can't afford a hotel. I'll cover it, Aaron said simply, along with dry clothes and food. Why would you do that for strangers? Maya asked, still not trusting his offer. Aaron's expression changed slightly. Because 27 years ago, someone did the same for me and my mother when we had nowhere to go. He glanced at the twins. Please let me help. No strings attached. Maya studied his face, looking for any sign of deception. Finding none, she slowly nodded. Thank you, she said stiffly. Aaron opened his umbrella again. Can you walk to the car or do you need assistance? I can walk, Maya said, though the pain in her back had intensified during their hour in the cold. The short walk to the car was excruciating, but Maya refused to show weakness. The driver opened the door and the twins climbed in, eyes wide at the luxury of the leather seats. The Meridian, James, Aaron instructed the driver before turning to Maya. What are your names? I'm Maya Johnson. These are my daughters, Lily and Daisy. Mom, it's so warm in here, Lily said, pressing her hands against the heating vents. The ride to the hotel took less than 5 minutes. When they arrived, Aaron spoke quietly to the night manager while Maya and the twins stood dripping on the marble floor. Hotel staff glanced at them with poorly disguised distaste. This way, please, Aaron said, returning with key cards. You have a suite on the 7th floor. The elevator ride was silent, the twins too overwhelmed to speak. When Aaron opened the door to the suite, both girls gasped. It's bigger than our whole apartment was, Daisy exclaimed, looking at the spacious room with 2 queen beds, a sitting area, and a large bathroom. There are robes in the bathroom, Aaron told them. I've arranged for room service to bring up hot food in 20 minutes. Tomorrow morning, someone will deliver clothes in your sizes. How do you know our sizes? Maya asked. I made an educated guess, Aaron replied. The hotel shops can provide anything that doesn't fit. Maya stood awkwardly in the center of the room, dripping on the carpet. Mr. Thompson? Aaron, please. Aaron, I don't understand why you're doing this. He studied her face again with that curious expression. There's something about you, he began, then shook his head. Get dry, get warm, get some rest. We can talk more tomorrow. He placed his business card on the table near the door. My cell phone number is on there. Call if you need anything at all. After Aaron left, Maya locked the door and leaned against it, overwhelmed. Mom, there's a bathtub, Lily called from the bathroom, and little bottles of shampoo. Can we take a bath? Daisy asked, already pulling off her wet clothes. Yes, Maya said, pushing away from the door. A hot bath is exactly what we all need. While the twins soaked in the warm water, giggling over the bubbles, Maya stood at the window looking at the rain-slicked streets below. She held Aaron's business card, turning it over in her fingers. CEO, Thompson Tech, Aaron Thompson. Why had he helped them? What did he want in return? No one gave this much without expecting something. And why had he looked at her that way, as if trying to place her face? When room service arrived, the twins attacked the hot soup and sandwiches like they hadn't eaten in days, which was nearly true. Maya ate more slowly, savoring real food while watching her daughter's color return. Later, as the girls slept soundly in one of the queen beds, Maya lay awake in the other, her back finally finding relief on the soft mattress. She placed Aaron's business card on the nightstand, torn between desperate gratitude and the certainty that help this generous always came with a price she might not be willing to pay. A knock at the door woke Maya early the next morning. She sat up quickly, momentarily confused by the unfamiliar surroundings until memories of the previous night returned. The twins still slept soundly in the other bed, their faces peaceful for the first time in weeks. Maya checked the peephole before opening the door slightly, keeping the security chain engaged. Aaron Thompson stood in the hallway with a woman in a professional outfit carrying a medical bag. "Good morning, Maya," Aaron said quietly. "This is Dr. Sarah Mitchell. I mentioned I'd arrange medical help for your back." Maya hesitated. "I didn't agree to see a doctor." "I'm just here to help if you want it," Dr. Mitchell said with a gentle smile. "No pressure." Maya glanced back at her sleeping daughters, then at her own reflection in the mirror by the door. Her face looked tired, her hair unkempt. She felt vulnerable and exposed. "I can't afford a doctor," she said bluntly. "I've already taken care of that," Aaron replied. "Sarah is an old friend." After another moment of hesitation, Maya unhooked the chain and opened the door. Aaron had kept his promise about the clothes. Several shopping bags sat in the hallway beside them. "These should fit all of you," he said, bringing the bags inside while Dr. Mitchell waited in the doorway. The movement of voices stirred the twins awake. Lily sat up first, rubbing her eyes. "Mom? Who's that lady?" she asked, pointing at Dr. Mitchell. "She's a doctor," Maya explained, sitting on the edge of the bed. "She's here to look at my back." "Can she fix it?" Daisy asked, now alert. "That's what we're going to find out," Dr. Mitchell said, entering the room with her bag. "Is it okay if I examine you, Ms. Johnson?" Maya nodded reluctantly. "Girls, why don't you check what's in those shopping bags while I talk to the doctor?" The twins didn't need to be told twice. They scrambled out of bed and dove into the bags while Maya followed Dr. Mitchell to the sitting area of the suite. "Mr. Thompson said you fell downstairs about 3 weeks ago?" Dr. Mitchell asked as she prepared her examination tools. "Yes, marble stairs. I landed hard on my lower back." "And you've had no medical treatment since then?" Maya shook her head. "No insurance." Dr. Mitchell's face remained professionally neutral, but her eyes showed concern. "I'll need you to lie on your stomach on the bed." For the next 15 minutes, Dr. Mitchell conducted a thorough examination while Aaron stepped outside to give them privacy. The doctor's gentle hands found every point of pain along Maya's spine, asking questions about the level of discomfort and her range of movement. When the examination was complete, Maya sat up carefully, waiting for the verdict. "You have a moderate spinal injury," Dr. Mitchell explained. "The good news is it's not surgical. The bad news is you've been making it worse by not treating it. You need physical therapy, proper medication, and rest." "I don't have time to rest," Maya said automatically. "I have to find work and a place to live." Dr. Mitchell looked at her seriously. "If you don't address this now, you could have permanent mobility issues. Do you understand what that means?" Maya glanced at the twins, who were happily trying on new clothes. "I understand." Aaron returned when Dr. Mitchell opened the door. The doctor spoke to him quietly, then handed Maya a prescription. "I've arranged for you to start physical therapy this afternoon at Boston Medical Center," Aaron said. "A car will take you there at 2 o'clock. "My daughters—" "I've thought of that too," Aaron interrupted. "Someone will be here at 1 o'clock to help with the girls while you're at therapy." Maya stared at him. "Why are you doing all this? You don't even know us." Aaron seemed uncomfortable with the question. "Let's talk about that over lunch. The hotel will bring it up at noon." He checked his watch. "I have meetings this morning, but I'll be back later." After Aaron and Dr. Mitchell left, Maya explored the shopping bags. Beyond clothes for all of them, there were toiletries, small toys for the girls, and even a prepaid phone with a note saying, "In case your battery dies." "Mom, look at my new shoes," Lily exclaimed, dancing around in purple sneakers. "Mine are blue," Daisy added, showing off her own new footwear. For the first time in weeks, Maya allowed herself to smile genuinely. They look wonderful. The morning passed in a blur of hot showers, new clothes, and the twins watching television with wide eyes. "We can choose any channel?" Daisy asked in awe, holding the remote control like a precious object. At exactly noon, room service arrived with lunch. At 1 o'clock, there was another knock at the door. Maya opened it to find an older woman with silver hair and kind eyes. "Hello, I'm Patricia Williams," the woman said. "Aaron Thompson asked me to help with your daughters while you attend physical therapy." Maya studied the woman cautiously. "You're a babysitter?" Ms. Williams smiled. "I'm a retired elementary school teacher. Aaron thought I might help the girls catch up on the school they've missed." The twins peered around Maya with interest. "Are you really a teacher?" Lily asked. "For 32 years, Ms. Williams confirmed. "I taught 3rd grade, just like you're in now." "I like math," Daisy offered quietly. "Wonderful. Math is my favorite subject too," Ms. Williams responded, her eyes twinkling. Despite her reservations, Maya felt reassured by the woman's gentle manner. When the car arrived to take her to therapy, she left the twins with specific instructions to behave for Ms. Williams. The physical therapy session was painful but informative. The therapist, Mr. Gonzalez, taught Maya exercises to strengthen her back and proper ways to move to avoid further injury. "You've been compensating for the pain by moving incorrectly," he explained. "That's making the original injury worse." By the time Maya returned to the hotel, she was exhausted but hopeful. The twins greeted her excitedly. "Ms. Williams knows so many cool things," Lily exclaimed. "She taught us about fractions using cookies. And she didn't even get mad when I got stuck on words," Daisy added. Aaron arrived shortly after, bringing dinner for everyone. While the twins ate with Ms. Williams in the sitting area, Aaron sat with Maya near the window. "The physical therapist says I should be significantly better in 6 weeks with regular treatment," Maya told him, still not meeting his eyes. "I appreciate the help, but I need to understand why you're doing this." Aaron was quiet for a moment. "When I was 15, my mother died of cancer. My father was distant. He sent me to boarding school and rarely visited. A teacher there noticed I was struggling and took me under her wing. She didn't have to, but she did." "That doesn't explain why you're helping us specifically," Maya pressed. Aaron's eyes studied her face again. "There's something about you that seems familiar." "I can't explain it, but I feel like I'm supposed to help you." Maya frowned. "I don't believe in that kind of thing." "Neither do I, usually," Aaron admitted. "Look, I have the resources to help, and you need help. Does it have to be more complicated than that?" Before Maya could respond, she remembered something important. "My daughter's school. I need to call them and explain our absence." "Already taken care of," Aaron said. "Ms. Williams contacted them with your permission slip that you misplaced. They're excused for the week." Maya narrowed her eyes. "That's technically fraud." "It's giving you breathing room," Aaron countered. "Speaking of documents, do you have your important papers? Birth certificates, social security cards?" Maya's face fell. "They're at the Stevens house. In my rush to pack, I forgot the folder with our documents." "The people you worked for? Can you get them back?" "I doubt it. Mrs. Stevens made it clear I wasn't welcome to return." The next morning, Maya took a taxi to Beacon Hill, determined to retrieve their documents. Standing before the Stevens mansion, she took a deep breath before ringing the bell. Eleanor Stevens answered, her face hardening at the sight of Maya. "What are you doing here?" she demanded. "I left important documents when I moved out," Maya explained. "My family's birth certificates and social security cards. They were in a blue folder in the staff closet." "We cleaned that closet out weeks ago," Eleanor said coldly. "Whatever was there is gone. Mrs. Stevens, please, we need those documents." "That's not my problem," Eleanor replied. "And if you don't leave immediately, I'll call the police and report you for trespassing." Defeated, Maya returned to the hotel. The twins were engaged in an art project with Miss Williams, happily drawing and cutting paper. No luck? Aaron asked, noticing her expression when he stopped by that afternoon. Maya shook her head. She threw everything away, or at least that's what she claims. Well, that's unfortunate, Aaron said casually, reaching into his jacket, but perhaps these will help. He handed Maya a large envelope. Inside were official copies of all 3 Johnson birth certificates and social security cards. How did you? Maya began, stunned. I have connections at City Hall, Aaron explained with a small smile. Everyone owes someone a favor. Maya stared at the documents, then at Aaron. Why are you really helping us? She asked again. Aaron looked at her intently. There's something about you that seems familiar and I can't quite figure out what it is. Maya clutched the envelope containing their documents, trying to understand Aaron's words. Familiar how? I've never met you before that night. I know, Aaron said, running a hand through his hair. It's strange. Maybe you remind me of someone I used to know. The conversation was interrupted when Lily bounded over, holding a colorful drawing. Look what I made, Mom. It's beautiful, Maya said, grateful for the distraction. Is that our family? Yes, and that's Mr. Aaron and Ms. Williams, too, Lily explained, pointing to stick figures at the edge of the paper, because they're helping us. Aaron smiled at the drawing. I'm honored to be included. Over the next 2 weeks, a routine developed. Maya attended physical therapy every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The exercises were painful but effective. Slowly, she began to walk with less pain, stand a little straighter. You're making excellent progress, Mr. Gonzalez told her during her 6th session. Keep doing your home exercises and you'll see even more improvement. Ms. Williams came daily to tutor the twins, who were thriving under her attention. But despite their improved circumstances, both girls showed signs of their trauma. Lily woke screaming from nightmares almost every night. No, don't make us go back to the car, she would cry, her small body shaking. It's too cold. Daisy developed a stutter that appeared whenever she was nervous or tired. Today we learned about peat planets, she told Maya one evening, frustrated by her inability to speak smoothly. Aaron visited regularly, often bringing gifts. Science kits for the girls, books, even a laptop so Maya could search for jobs. The hotel is fine for now, he assured Maya when she expressed concern about their extended stay. Take the time you need to heal properly. One evening during Aaron's visit, Maya noticed him watching her again with that puzzled expression. You're doing it again, she said after the twins were asleep. Doing what? Staring at me like I'm a puzzle you're trying to solve. Aaron looked embarrassed. Sorry, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. Maya studied him for a moment. How long were you planning to let us stay at the hotel? As long as necessary, Aaron replied. But actually, I wanted to ask you all to dinner tomorrow. At my home in Brookline. Maya hesitated. The hotel room had become a safe space, but they couldn't stay forever. And she was curious about Aaron's life. Okay, she agreed, but only dinner. The next evening, a car arrived to take them to Aaron's estate. As they drove through increasingly wealthy neighborhoods, the twins pressed their faces to the windows in amazement. The houses are so big, Lily exclaimed. Like in movies, Daisy added without stuttering, her excitement overriding her speech difficulty. When they reached Aaron's property, even Maya couldn't hide her surprise. The mansion sat on perfectly manicured grounds with a circular driveway leading to impressive front doors. You live here alone? Maya asked as Aaron welcomed them inside. Yes, he admitted, looking somewhat embarrassed. It's too large for one person, but it was my family home. The interior was beautiful but strangely impersonal. Expensive furniture and artwork filled the rooms, but there were few photographs or personal touches. It felt more like a museum than a home. A housekeeper served dinner in a formal dining room with crystal chandeliers. The twins were on their best behavior, carefully using their napkins and saying, please and thank you. This food is so yummy, Lily said. taking another bite of chicken. "The best I've ever eaten," Daisy agreed, her stutter absent in her contentment. As they ate dessert, homemade apple pie with ice cream, the conversation turned to family. "Did you grow up in Boston?" Maya asked Aaron. "Partly. We moved around for my father's business. After my mother died, I attended boarding school in New Hampshire." "That must have been hard," Maya said softly, "losing your mother so young." Aaron nodded. "What about you? You mentioned you're from Memphis?" "Yes. My mother raised me there alone. She worked at a hotel as a housekeeper like I did." "And your father?" Aaron asked carefully. Maya shook her head. "I never knew him. Mom wouldn't talk about him. Just said he wasn't in the picture and it was better that way." "Do you have photos of your mother?" Aaron asked. "You said she passed away 5 years ago?" "Yes." Maya pulled out her phone. "I don't have many, but I saved what I could when we had to leave our apartment." She scrolled through her phone's gallery and showed Aaron a recent photo of her mother, a smiling woman with the same warm brown skin and expressive eyes as Maya. "She was beautiful," Aaron said sincerely. "She worked so hard all her life," Maya said, scrolling to another photo. "This is one of the few pictures I have from when she was younger." The photo showed Jessica in her 20s, standing outside a Memphis hotel in a staff uniform, smiling at the camera. It was from the early 1980s. The colors faded with age. Aaron froze when he saw the image, his face drained of color. "What?" Maya asked, noticing his reaction. "What's wrong?" Without answering, Aaron stood abruptly and left the room. The twins looked at Maya with confusion. "Stay here, girls," Maya instructed, following Aaron. She found him in his study, frantically searching through a desk drawer. He pulled out an old leather photo album and flipped through the pages with shaking hands. "Aaron? What's going on?" Maya asked from the doorway. "When was that photo taken?" he asked without looking up. "The one of your mother." 1982, I think. She was working at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis." "Why?" Aaron stopped on a page and stared at it for a long moment before turning the album toward Maya. "Because of this," he said quietly. Maya stepped closer and gasped. In the album was an identical photo of her mother. The same pose, the same uniform, the same hotel background. But in this version, Jessica wasn't alone. She stood next to an older white man in an expensive suit, his arm around her waist. They were both smiling. "Who is that?" Maya whispered, though something in her heart already knew the answer. "That's William Thompson," Aaron said, his voice unsteady. "My father." Maya stared at the photo, her mind racing. "That's not possible. My mother never mentioned—" "My father traveled to Memphis regularly in the early 80s, Aaron interrupted. "He had business interests there." This photo was in his personal album, not the family ones. The implications hung in the air between them. Maya sank into a chair, still staring at the photo. "You think he's my father?" she finally asked. "It would explain why I felt you were familiar from the moment I met you," Aaron said. "You have his eyes. Not the color, but the shape. And the way you tilt your head when you're thinking. He did that too." Maya shook her head in disbelief. "But he was married to your mother then. And he was white. My mother would have told me if—" Her voice trailed off as memories surfaced. Her mother's evasiveness whenever Maya asked about her father, the way she would change the subject or say simply, "He wasn't able to be part of our lives." "What was your mother's full name?" Aaron asked. "Jessica Lynn Johnson." Aaron carefully turned a few more pages in the album. There, written in faded ink beneath another photo of the same man and woman, were the words, "Memphis with JLJ." "Did your mother ever receive money from someone she didn't name? Any unexpected financial help?" Aaron asked. Maya thought back. "There was a period when I was very young, maybe 3 or 4, when things got better for us. We moved to a nicer apartment. Mom said she got a promotion. But later we moved again and things were tight. I always wondered what happened." Aaron closed the album gently. My father's health declined around that time. He had his first heart attack when I was 12. His business partner, Victor Blackwood, took over more of the day-to-day operations. The twins appeared in the doorway, sensing the serious conversation. "Mom? Is everything okay?" Lily asked. Maya looked at her daughters, then at Aaron, seeing him in a new light. "Girls, Mr. Aaron and I need to talk about something important. Can you wait in the living room for a few minutes? I believe there's a television there." After the twins left, Maya turned back to Aaron. "If this is true, if your father is my father, what does that mean?" "It means we're half-siblings," Aaron said, still looking stunned. "It means you're a Thompson." "I need proof," Maya said firmly. "I can't just accept this based on an old photo and a feeling." "Of course," Aaron agreed. "We can do DNA testing. I know a private lab that can rush the results." Maya nodded, her mind still struggling to process the possibility. "And if it's true, then everything changes," Aaron said simply. "For both of us." They sat in silence for a long moment, the old photo album between them on Aaron's desk. Outside the study, they could hear the faint sounds of the television where the twins were waiting. "Tell me about your father," Maya finally said. "What kind of man was he?" Aaron leaned back in his chair. "William Thompson was brilliant in business but complicated as a father. He built Thompson Tech from nothing into a technology empire. Everyone respected him, but few people truly knew him." "Was he kind to you?" Maya asked. A shadow crossed Aaron's face. "Sometimes." He had high expectations. "After my mother died, we grew distant. He sent me to boarding school, and we mostly saw each other on holidays." Maya looked at the photo again. "My mother never said a negative word about my father. She just said he couldn't be part of our lives. I always thought he had another family and didn't want us." "That might be exactly what happened," Aaron said quietly. "But knowing my father, it's also possible your mother chose to keep you away from him. He could be difficult." The next morning, they visited a private medical center for DNA testing. The process was simple: cheek swabs collected in sterile tubes, forms signed, identification verified. "How long until we know?" Maya asked as they left the building. "I've requested a rush." 3 days, Aaron replied. "Are you okay?" Maya shook her head. "I don't know. My entire life I wondered about my father. Now I might have not just a father but a brother too. It's overwhelming." Later that day, Maya called an old family friend in Memphis, Mrs. Turner, who had known her mother for years. "Mrs. Turner, did my mother ever mention someone named William Thompson?" Maya asked when the older woman answered. There was a long pause on the line. "Oh, Maya, I always wondered if you'd ask someday." Maya's heart raced. "So she did know him?" "They had a relationship when she worked at the Peabody. He was a businessman who stayed there regularly. Your mother was young and fell in love, but he was married with a son." Did she ever say if he was my father?" Maya asked directly. Another pause. "She never said it outright, but the timing. And when you were born, she cried and said you had his eyes. Then she never spoke of him again." The conversation left Maya with more questions than answers. When she returned to the hotel room, she found Aaron helping Lily with a science experiment from one of the kits he'd brought earlier. Daisy sat nearby, carefully drawing what looked like a family tree. "What are you working on, Daisy?" Maya asked, looking over her daughter's shoulder. "A family tree for school," Daisy explained, her stutter more pronounced when she was concentrating. "I put you and Lily and me, and I put Grandma Jessica." She pointed to a branch marked, "Maybe Uncle," with a question mark. "Should I put Mr. Aaron here?" Maya sat beside her daughter. "Let's wait a few days before we decide, okay? We're still figuring things out." "But he helps us," Lily said, looking up from her experiment. "And he's nice. I want him to be our uncle." Maya noticed Aaron's expression, a mixture of surprise and something that looked like hope. The next day, Maya had her regular physical therapy session. Her progress was remarkable. "You're walking much better," Mr. Gonzalez noted as Maya completed a set of exercises without pausing for pain. "The treatment is working." "It is," Maya agreed. "I can stand for more than an hour now without needing to sit down." "Soon you'll be ready to return to work," he said. The comment should have been encouraging, but it filled Maya with uncertainty. If the DNA test confirmed her relationship to Aaron, would that change her plans to find work? Should it? Meanwhile, Aaron's lawyer, Benjamin Harris, visited the mansion to discuss the potential legal situation. Aaron invited Maya to join them in his study. "If the DNA test confirms you're William Thompson's daughter," Benjamin explained, "you could have legal rights to a portion of his estate." "I'm not looking for money," Maya said firmly. "Nevertheless, it's important to understand the situation," Benjamin continued. "William Thompson passed away 3 years ago. His will was executed by his business partner, Victor Blackwood, with Aaron as the primary beneficiary." "Was there any provision for other potential heirs?" Aaron asked. Benjamin nodded. "That's what I've been researching. There was a clause about any biological children who may come forward. It's unusual wording that suggests your father might have known about other children." Maya frowned. "But no one came looking for me." "That's what we need to investigate," Benjamin said. "Victor handled all the details of the will's execution. If there was money set aside for potential heirs, where did it go?" The conversation was interrupted when Daisy knocked on the study door, asking for help with a math problem. Aaron smiled and invited her in. "What are you working on?" he asked, clearing a space on his desk. Fractions," Daisy said. "Ms. W. Williams said I'm good at math." "She told me you're exceptional at math," Aaron corrected. "Let's see what's troubling you." Maya watched as Aaron patiently helped Daisy work through the problem, explaining each step clearly until her daughter's face lit up with understanding. Despite their uncertain relationship, it was clear the twins were forming a bond with Aaron. That evening, the twins were invited to a movie night with Ms. Williams at her apartment. With the girls away, Maya and Aaron sat in his living room, looking through old photographs of William Thompson. "Did he ever mention Memphis?" Maya asked, studying a picture of a younger William in front of an early Thompson Tech building. "Not specifically," Aaron said. "He traveled constantly when I was young. My mother would complain about it." He paused. "There's something you should know. After my mother died, my father changed. He became more withdrawn, focused entirely on work. If he did know about you, his grief might have affected his decisions." "That doesn't excuse abandoning a child," Maya said. "No, it doesn't," Aaron agreed. "But I want you to understand the complexity of the man he was." The next day, Maya took the twins to visit Cambridge Preparatory School. Aaron had arranged a meeting with the admissions director. "The girls would be welcome to start after winter break," the director explained, clearly impressed by Aaron's involvement. "Their placement tests show they're both quite bright, despite some recent gaps in their education." "Daisy has a stutter," Maya said directly. "Will that be a problem?" "Not at all. Our speech therapist can work with her. Many children overcome speech difficulties with the right support." After the school visit, they returned to the hotel to find a message from the DNA testing lab. The results were ready a day early. "Do you want to review them privately first?" Aaron asked when they received the email that evening. Maya shook her head. "Let's look together." They sat side by side at the desk in Maya's hotel room, the twins playing quietly on one of the beds. Aaron opened the email and clicked on the attached document. They both leaned forward to read the results. "Sibling relationship, 99.9% probability," Aaron read aloud. "We share the same father." Maya stared at the screen, emotions washing over her. Relief at finally knowing the truth, anger that her father had never acknowledged her, confusion about what this meant for her future. And somewhere beneath it all, a strange sense of belonging she hadn't felt since her mother died. "So you're really our uncle?" Lily asked, suddenly appearing beside them. Both twins had abandoned their game when they heard Aaron's words. Aaron looked at Maya, waiting for her lead. "Yes," Maya said finally. "Aaron is your uncle." The twins reacted with excitement, bombarding Aaron with questions and hugs while Maya sat quietly, still processing the news. Later, after the girls were asleep, Maya and Aaron sat in the hotel sitting area, talking in low voices. "What happens now?" Maya asked. "That depends on you," Aaron said. "You and the girls are welcome to stay with me. There's plenty of room." Maya shook her head. "I need my independence. I always have. I understand, but at least let me help you find appropriate housing and—" Aaron was interrupted by his phone ringing. He glanced at the screen. "It's Benjamin." He answered and listened, his expression growing increasingly serious. "Are you sure?" "How long has this been happening?" "Yes, I'll tell her." "What's wrong?" Maya asked when he hung up. "Benjamin found something disturbing in my father's will," Aaron said grimly. "There was indeed money set aside for additional heirs, a significant amount. But according to financial records, Victor Blackwood has been transferring those funds to offshore accounts for the past 3 years. "He stole it?" Maya asked. "Worse than that," Aaron said. "Benjamin found evidence that Victor hired a private investigator to track you down years ago. He confirmed your existence but kept it secret while taking the money meant for you." Maya sat back, stunned. "So, my father did try to provide for me?" "It appears so," Aaron said, his voice hardening with anger. "And my trusted business partner has been stealing your inheritance since the day my father died." "How much did he steal?" Maya asked, still trying to process this new revelation. Aaron's jaw tightened. "Benjamin estimates at least $7 million. $7 million? Maya repeated in disbelief. "That's impossible. My father left me $7 million? "He left you more than that," Aaron said. "The trust was worth $12 million originally. Victor has been siphoning money from it gradually, probably hoping no one would notice." Maya stood up and paced the hotel room, careful not to wake the twins. "This doesn't make sense. If my father wanted to provide for me, why didn't he do it while he was alive?" "I don't know," Aaron admitted. "But Benjamin found documents showing my father hired private investigators to find you twice, once when you were a child and again shortly before he died." Maya stopped pacing. "Did they find me?" "The first time, no. Your mother had moved from her last known address. The second time?" Aaron hesitated. "Yes. The report confirms your identity, your address in Dorchester, everything. It was delivered to Victor 3 weeks before my father died." "And Victor never told you about it?" "No. He executed the will, set up the trust for you as instructed, then began stealing from it immediately. He likely assumed you would never be found." Maya sank back into her chair. "What do we do now?" "Benjamin is preparing legal documents to establish your claim formally. He's also gathering evidence against Victor. We're meeting him at Thompson Tech tomorrow morning to confront Victor." "I want to be there," Maya said firmly. The next morning, after dropping the twins at Ms. Williams' apartment, Maya and Aaron drove to the Thompson Tech headquarters in downtown Boston. The gleaming glass tower stretched into the sky, the company logo visible for blocks. As they walked through the lobby, employees stared and whispered. Maya felt self-conscious in her simple clothes despite the improvements in her wardrobe since meeting Aaron. "Is that Mr. Thompson's new girlfriend?" She overheard one receptionist whisper. "No, I heard she's some kind of charity case," another replied. Aaron noticed Maya's discomfort and placed a supportive hand on her shoulder. "Ignore them. They know nothing." Benjamin Harris was waiting in the conference room, surrounded by stacks of documents. He stood when they entered, a tall man with silver hair and serious eyes. "Everything's ready," Benjamin said, shaking Maya's hand. "I've prepared the legal declaration of your paternity and inheritance rights. Once signed and filed, we can freeze the remaining trust funds before Victor takes more." "What about the money he already took?" Maya asked. That's why I've also prepared this, Benjamin said, sliding a folder across the table. Evidence of wire transfers to Cayman Islands accounts in Victor's name. Enough for the FBI to get involved. Aaron examined the documents. You've been thorough. Does Victor suspect anything? No. He thinks this meeting is about quarterly projections. Right on cue, there was a knock at the door. Victor Blackwood entered, a man in his 50s with an expensive suit and a confident smile that faltered when he saw Maya. Aaron, I didn't realize you'd be bringing guests to our financial meeting, he said, his eyes darting between Maya and Benjamin. This isn't about quarterly projections, Victor, Aaron said coldly. It's about the Thompson family trust for additional heirs. Victor's face remained neutral, but his hands tightened on his leather portfolio. I'm not sure what you mean. Benjamin opened a laptop and turned it to face Victor. These are transfers from the trust to your personal accounts in Grand Cayman. 12 transfers over 3 years, totaling $7,400,000. There must be some mistake, Victor said, his voice steady despite the sweat forming on his forehead. No mistake, Aaron continued. We also found this. He slid a document across the table, the private investigator's report on Maya. You knew about my sister 3 weeks before my father died, yet you never mentioned her existence to me or to her. Victor's composure began to crack. Aaron, you can't seriously believe… Maya Johnson is William Thompson's daughter, Aaron interrupted. DNA testing confirms it. She's my half-sister, and you've been stealing her inheritance for years. Maya watched the exchange silently, studying the man who had hidden her existence while profiting from it. Victor glanced at her, then back at Aaron. This is absurd, Victor protested. Even if she is William's daughter, which I highly doubt, the trust was discretionary. As executor, I had full authority to manage the trust, not to empty it into your personal accounts, Benjamin interrupted. That's embezzlement, plain and simple. Victor's expression hardened. You have no proof that would stand up in court. Actually, we do, Benjamin said, pushing another folder forward. Your former assistant provided copies of the original instructions you deleted from the system, William's explicit directions to locate his daughter in Memphis and provide for her from the trust. The color drained from Victor's face. The FBI has been notified, Aaron said quietly. They'll be here within the hour to question you formally. Victor stood abruptly. I need to retrieve some files from my office that will explain everything. Give me 15 minutes to gather the documents. Aaron nodded reluctantly. Fine. 15 minutes. After Victor left, Benjamin looked concerned. We should have had security escort him. He won't try anything stupid, Aaron said. There's nowhere for him to go. But 20 minutes later, when Victor hadn't returned, Aaron called security. They found his office empty, his computer still on, and his parking space vacant. He's running, Aaron said grimly, pulling out his phone to call the FBI. Within minutes, federal agents swarmed the building. Security footage showed Victor leaving through a service entrance, getting into his car, and driving away just 10 minutes earlier. He's likely heading to Logan International Airport, the lead FBI agent said. We've alerted TSA and local police. While the FBI coordinated their search for Victor, Maya and Aaron returned to Aaron's home, where Ms. Williams had brought the twins after school. How was your first day? Maya asked, trying to focus on her daughters despite the chaos of the morning. I made 3 friends, Lily announced proudly, and my teacher said I ask excellent questions. That's wonderful, sweetheart, Maya said, hugging her. What about you, Daisy? Daisy looked down at her shoes. The kids laughed when I talked. Maya's heart sank. Oh, honey. But, Daisy continued with a small smile, my math teacher said I'm the best in the class. She gave me special problems to solve. That's amazing, Maya said, hugging her tightly. Aaron knelt beside Daisy. You know, being good at math is much more impressive than being able to talk without a stutter, Many people can speak clearly, but very few can solve complex math problems. Daisy beamed at him. Really? Really, Aaron confirmed. In fact, at Thompson Tech, we hire many brilliant people who have different ways of speaking or thinking. Their differences make them special. Throughout the afternoon, Aaron's phone rang constantly with updates about the search for Victor. By evening, they learned he had indeed gone to Logan Airport and purchased a ticket to Grand Cayman, but the flight had been delayed due to weather. "They've got agents at every gate," Aaron told Maya after one call. "He won't get away." That night, after the twins were asleep in one of Aaron's guest rooms, Maya and Aaron sat in his study watching the local news. The story had broken. Technology executive flees after embezzlement allegations, with footage of FBI agents at Thompson Tech headquarters. "This will be public knowledge soon," Aaron said, muting the television. "Your connection to the Thompson family will be revealed." Maya nodded slowly. "I've been thinking about that. The twins will be affected too. Their classmates might treat them differently when they find out." "We can protect them as much as possible," Aaron assured her. "But yes, things will change." "I never wanted wealth," Maya said quietly. "All I wanted was to provide a stable home for my daughters." "And now you can," Aaron pointed out. "Whether Victor stole some of it or not, your father left you enough to ensure you and the girls will never struggle again." Maya was about to respond when Aaron's phone rang. His face grew serious as he listened. "They've got him," he said after hanging up. "Victor was caught trying to board the plane with a fake passport. They found a laptop in his possession with files detailing all the transfers and his offshore accounts." Maya let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. "So it's over?" "The criminal part is just beginning," Aaron explained. "He'll be arrested, charged, and tried. But yes, his theft has been stopped. Benjamin will work on recovering as much of the stolen money as possible." "What happens now, with me and the girls, I mean?" "That's entirely up to you," Aaron said, "but I hope you'll consider staying in Boston. The girls seem happy at their new school, and I'd like to be part of their lives." He paused. "And yours." Maya studied the man who had gone from stranger to brother in just a few weeks. "I need to think about what's best for all of us." "Of course," Aaron agreed. "But whatever you decide, I want you to know that I'm grateful to have found you." Even under these circumstances. The next morning's newspapers carried Victor's arrest as front-page news. By afternoon, reporters had somehow learned about Maya's connection to the Thompson family and were gathering outside Aaron's gates. "Mrs. Stevens must have seen the news," Maya said as they watched the growing media presence from an upstairs window. "She called my phone 3 times today." "What did she want?" Aaron asked. "To apologize suddenly," Maya said with a bitter laugh. "Now that she knows I'm a Thompson." Aaron frowned. "You don't have to speak to her." "I know," Maya said, "but part of me wants to. To show her that the person she treated like dirt is now someone she has to respect. Is that petty?" "It's human," Aaron replied. "But remember, you were always worthy of respect, even when you had nothing." Maya nodded, watching a news van pull up outside the gates. "The twins will see this on TV. We need to explain everything to them before someone at school does." "You're right," Aaron said. "They should hear the truth from us." Together, they called the twins into the living room, preparing to explain how their world was about to change yet again. The twins settled on the sofa, looking up at Maya and Aaron with curious expressions. "Is something wrong?" Lily asked, noticing their serious faces. Maya sat beside her daughters and took their hands. "Nothing's wrong, but there are some big changes happening that you need to understand." "Did Uncle Aaron find more family members?" Daisy asked, her stutter less pronounced than usual. Maya smiled gently. "No, sweetie. But remember how we talked about Aaron being your uncle because he and I share the same father?" The girls nodded. "Well, our father, your grandfather, was a very important man named William Thompson. He owned big companies and had a lot of money. Like Uncle Aaron, Lily observed. Yes, Maya continued. When William died, he left money for me, but a bad man named Victor hid that information and took the money for himself. He stole from you? Daisy's eyes widened. Aaron nodded. Yes, but now he's been caught. The police arrested him last night. The important thing, Maya said, is that because of all this, many people are going to be talking about us. There might be people with cameras outside, or kids at school might say things about us being rich now. Are we rich? Lily asked bluntly. Maya hesitated. We have more money than before, yes, but I don't want that to change who we are. Can we get a bigger car? Lily pressed. One that doesn't break down? Despite the seriousness of the moment, Maya laughed. Yes, we can get a more reliable car. That evening, the twins watched wide-eyed as their mother's face appeared on the evening news. The reporter stood outside Aaron's gates talking about the secret daughter of technology magnate William Thompson and the dramatic arrest of Victor Blackwood at Logan International Airport. "You're on TV, Mom," Lily exclaimed. "That's an old picture," Maya noted, recognizing an image from her Facebook profile that she hadn't updated in years. "I wonder how they found it." The next morning, reporters shouted questions as Aaron's driver attempted to take the twins to school. "Is it true you were homeless just weeks ago? How much money did Victor Blackwood steal from you? Do you plan to take a role in Thompson Tech?" The girls huddled in the back seat, overwhelmed by the attention. When they arrived at school, more reporters waited outside the gates. "This is crazy," Maya said, shielding the girls as they hurried inside. "They're just children." The school principal met them at the entrance. "Ms. Johnson, we've increased security today. The children will stay indoors during recess, and we've instructed all staff not to discuss the situation with the media." "Thank you," Maya said gratefully. The day brought more developments. Benjamin Harris arrived at Aaron's home with legal documents confirming the freeze on Victor's assets. FBI agents had already located several of the offshore accounts containing Maya's stolen inheritance. They found $4,700,000 so far, Benjamin reported. They believe they can recover about 60% of what was taken. "That's still more money than I ever expected to have," Maya said, signing the papers Benjamin presented. "What happens with Victor now?" "He's being held without bail," Benjamin explained. "He's facing federal charges for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft. They found 3 fake passports in his possession. He's looking at 15 to 20 years in prison." Later that morning, Maya received a formal-looking envelope delivered by courier. Inside was a letter from Eleanor Stevens. "My dear Maya," it began, the handwriting perfectly formed. "I was shocked and heartbroken to learn of your true identity and the terrible ordeal you've endured. Had I known you were William Thompson's daughter, I would certainly have treated you with the respect you deserve. Perhaps we could meet for lunch to discuss how we might move forward from this unfortunate misunderstanding. Sincerely, Eleanor Stevens." Maya crumpled the letter and threw it in the trash. "Unbelievable. What was that?" Aaron asked, entering the room. "Eleanor Stevens suddenly wants to be my friend now that I'm a Thompson," Maya said bitterly. Aaron shook his head. "People show their true character in how they treat those they believe can do nothing for them." When the twins returned from school, Maya noticed immediately that something was wrong. Daisy's stutter was worse than it had been in days, and Lily looked angry. "What happened?" Maya asked as they settled in the kitchen for snacks. "Jenny Sullivan said we were poor last week and now we're pretending to be rich," Daisy said, tears forming in her eyes. "And Bobby Miller asked if he could come see our mansion," Lily added. "He never talked to us before today." Maya pulled her daughters close. "People will say all kinds of things because they don't understand. What matters is that we know the truth. We're the same people we were before." "But we're not," Lily argued. "Before, we lived in a car. Now we live in a mansion with Uncle Aaron." Maya couldn't argue with her daughter's simple logic. Their circumstances had changed dramatically. That evening, Maya made a decision. She called Benjamin Harris. "I'd like to legally change my last name," she said. "Not to Thompson entirely, but to Thompson Johnson. I want to honor both sides of my heritage." "That's easily arranged," Benjamin assured her. "I'll prepare the paperwork." The next day, a court hearing was scheduled to officially recognize Maya as William Thompson's daughter and legal heir. Reporters packed the courtroom as Maya testified about her mother, her childhood, and the DNA evidence proving her paternity. The judge, a stern woman with silver hair, reviewed all the documentation before making her ruling. Based on the overwhelming evidence presented, including conclusive DNA testing, this court recognizes Maya Johnson as the biological daughter of William Thompson and a legal heir to his estate. She banged her gavel. The trust established for her benefit is to be fully restored, and any misappropriated funds recovered and returned. Outside the courthouse, Maya faced a wall of cameras and microphones. With Aaron by her side, she made a brief statement. "Today confirms what I recently learned, that I am William Thompson's daughter. While I never had the chance to know my father, I'm grateful to have found my brother, Aaron. Our focus now is on providing stability for my daughters and ensuring justice is served regarding the stolen funds. Thank you." Back at Aaron's home, Maya had one more difficult conversation to face. She had agreed to meet Eleanor Stevens at a small cafe in Back Bay. Aaron had offered to come, but Maya wanted to handle this alone. Eleanor was already waiting when Maya arrived, dressed impeccably as always. She stood and extended her hand with a practiced smile. "Maya, thank you so much for meeting me. You look wonderful." Maya didn't take the offered hand. "What do you want, Mrs. Stevens?" Eleanor's smile faltered. "Well, I thought perhaps we could clear the air. The situation with your injury was unfortunate. Had I known who you were, you would have treated me like a human being?" Maya interrupted. "That's the problem, Eleanor. You shouldn't need to know someone's family connections to treat them with basic decency. You must understand, I have certain standards for my household staff." "I understand perfectly," Maya said, standing up. "You believe some people deserve kindness and others don't, based on their bank accounts. I came today to tell you that I don't want your apology or your friendship. What I want is for you to remember how you treated me when you thought I was nobody, because that reveals who you truly are." Maya walked out, leaving Eleanor speechless at the table. Outside, she took a deep breath, feeling a weight lift from her shoulders. That weekend brought more progress. Daisy's speech therapist reported significant improvement after just 3 sessions. "She's responding exceptionally well to the techniques," the therapist told Maya. "Her stutter is anxiety-related, not physical. As she gains confidence, her speech will continue to improve." Meanwhile, Aaron took Lily shopping for science equipment after she expressed interest in chemistry experiments. They returned with a child-sized lab coat embroidered with Lily Johnson, scientist. "She's incredibly curious," Aaron told Maya. "Asks questions I never even considered." On Monday morning, Maya attended the arraignment hearing for Victor Blackwood. He looked diminished in his orange jumpsuit, his confident demeanor replaced by nervous glances. He pleaded not guilty despite the mountain of evidence against him. After the hearing, Maya visited Thompson Tech headquarters for the first time as a recognized Thompson. Aaron gave her a tour of the company their father had built, introducing her to key executives. "This was his life's work," Aaron explained as they stood in the main lobby, looking at a portrait of William Thompson. "He was complicated and flawed, but he built something remarkable." Maya studied the face in the portrait, a face that shared features with her own. "Do you think he ever planned to contact me directly?" "I found evidence that he was going to," Aaron said. "There were travel arrangements to Memphis scheduled for the week after he died. His final heart attack came suddenly." That evening, Maya and Aaron visited their father's grave together. The granite headstone was simple despite William's wealth. "William Edward Thompson, beloved father." "He never added my name after mother died," Aaron noted. "Just father." Perhaps he was thinking of both of us. Maya placed white roses on the grave. Though she had never met this man, his blood ran through her veins, and his decisions had shaped her life in ways she was only beginning to understand. "I don't know how to feel about him," she admitted. "Part of me is angry he never acknowledged me while he was alive. Part of me is grateful he thought of me at the end." "He was a man of contradictions," Aaron said, "but finding you has given me something I never expected, a chance to have a real family again." As they walked back to the car, Maya realized that despite the media chaos and legal complications, she had gained more than just financial security. She had found a connection to her past and a new path for her future. The drive back from the cemetery was quiet, both Maya and Aaron lost in their own thoughts. As they pulled through the gates of the estate, Maya looked at the grand main house illuminated against the evening sky. "I've been thinking about our living arrangements," she said as they parked. "Oh?" Aaron turned to face her. "I appreciate your offer to have us stay in the main house, but I think we need our own space." Maya gestured toward the smaller building visible through the trees. "What about the guest house? It would give us independence while still being close." Aaron smiled. "The guest house is perfect. It has 3 bedrooms, a full kitchen, everything you'll need. I can have it prepared tomorrow." 2 days later, Maya and the twins moved their few belongings into the guest house. The building was charming, much smaller than the main house, but still spacious compared to any place they had lived before. "I get my own room?" Lily asked in disbelief, spinning around in the bedroom with pale yellow walls. "Yes, you both do," Maya confirmed, watching Daisy explore her room with its built-in bookshelves. "This is better than the hotel," Daisy declared, her stutter barely noticeable. That evening, Aaron joined them for dinner in their new home. As they ate, he brought up a subject that had been on his mind. "Maya, I've been thinking about your future plans," he said. "With your inheritance, you don't need to work, but I sense you want to." Maya nodded. "I need to earn my own way. I can't just live off this money. It doesn't feel right." "I understand," Aaron said. "Actually, I had an idea. What would you think about managing a charitable foundation?" Maya put down her fork. "A foundation? I don't have experience with that." "But you have experience with what the foundation would focus on," Aaron explained. "I was thinking we could create the Thompson Family Foundation, dedicated to helping single parents in crisis, particularly those facing homelessness due to medical issues or job loss." The twins watched this conversation with interest, their heads moving back and forth between the adults. "Like what happened to us?" Lily asked. "Exactly," Aaron said. "Your mom knows firsthand what families in that situation need. That knowledge is more valuable than any business degree." Maya considered this idea. "I wouldn't want to just hand out money. There would need to be programs, support systems, actual housing." "That's exactly what I was thinking," Aaron agreed eagerly. "We could use a portion of both our inheritances to create something meaningful, something that would help people like you before they end up living in their cars." Maya was quiet for a moment. "I'd need to think about this." "Of course," Aaron said. "No pressure." But the idea took root in Maya's mind. The next day, while the twins were at school, she began researching family foundations and homeless support programs. She made lists of what had helped her family and what they had needed most. A week later, Maya and Aaron sat in his study with Benjamin Harris, discussing the legal structure of the proposed foundation. "We can establish it as a 501c3 organization," Benjamin explained. "That gives you tax benefits while allowing significant control over how funds are distributed." "And we'd both contribute?" Maya asked, looking at Aaron. "Yes. I'd like to pledge $10 million as initial funding with annual contributions after that." Maya's eyes widened. $10 million? That's too much. "It's not enough," Aaron countered. "Not if we want to make real change. Think about how many families we could help." After more discussion, Maya agreed. Papers were signed, and the Thompson Family Foundation was officially born. Maya became its executive director, with Aaron serving as board chairman. Their first disagreement came when discussing the foundation's focus. "We should help as many people as possible," Aaron argued. "That means spreading resources across multiple cities." "No," Maya said firmly. "We need to start small and get it right. One location, comprehensive services, quality over quantity." "But, Aaron, these aren't numbers on a spreadsheet. These are families like mine. They need more than just a roof. They need job training, childcare, healthcare, therapy." Maya's voice grew passionate. "I know what it's like to fall through every crack in the system." Aaron considered her words. "You're right. We'll start with one location and make it a model program." With that decided, Maya began searching for the perfect building. She spent days driving through neighborhoods she knew well, including Dorchester, where she and the twins had lived. One morning, she spotted a vacant 4-story brick building that had once been a small apartment complex. It stood empty, windows boarded, a for sale sign hanging crookedly near the door. Maya called Aaron immediately. "I found it, our first housing center." 2 days later, they toured the building with a real estate agent. Despite its shabby appearance, the structure was sound. With renovations, it could hold 15 family apartments, plus spaces for counseling, job training, and childcare. "It needs a lot of work," the agent warned. "We can handle that," Aaron said, already making mental calculations. "Let's make an offer," Maya decided. "This is the one." As the foundation plans progressed, the twins continued to adjust to their new life. Their therapy sessions were helping them process the trauma of homelessness. Lily still had occasional nightmares but could now talk about her fears instead of just screaming in terror. "I dreamed we had to leave Uncle Aaron's," she told her therapist. "We were back in the car and it was raining again." "That must have been scary," the therapist said. "What happened next in the dream?" "I woke up and checked if we were still in our house. Then I could fall asleep again." Daisy's stutter improved dramatically with regular speech therapy. Her math skills continued to impress her teachers. She solved problems meant for 7th graders, her teacher told Maya during a parent conference. Her mind works in remarkable ways. One evening, as Maya reviewed architectural plans for the housing center, she made a decision. "I want to name it Johnson House," she told Aaron. "For my mother." Aaron nodded. "That's perfect. She raised you alone, just like you've been raising the twins." "She would have loved seeing this," Maya said softly. "She always helped others, even when we had almost nothing ourselves." As winter turned to spring, construction began on Johnson House. Maya visited the site daily, making decisions about everything from room layouts to furniture. "The play area needs to be visible from the laundry room," she instructed the architects. "Mothers need to be able to see their children while doing chores." "We hadn't considered that," the lead architect admitted. "There are many things people don't consider when they haven't lived it," Maya replied. At home, the twins were thriving. Lily joined the school debate team, surprising everyone with her confident public speaking. Daisy represented her grade in a citywide mathematics competition, winning first place. "Did you see Mom's face when they called my name?" Daisy asked her sister afterward, no stutter in her excited words. "She looked like she was going to explode with happiness," Lily confirmed. One evening in early April, Maya found Aaron sitting alone on the terrace of the main house, looking thoughtful. "Penny for your thoughts?" she asked, sitting beside him. "I was just thinking about how much has changed in 6 months," he said. "This house used to feel so empty. Now there's life here." "The girls love having you as their uncle," Maya said. "You've been good for them." "They've been good for me too," Aaron admitted. "I never thought much about having a family of my own. My childhood wasn't exactly inspiring. And now? Now I have a sister and 2 nieces who've shown me what family really means." The next day, they visited Johnson House together. Construction was progressing well, with walls up and windows installed. Maya walked through what would become the main office, envisioning how it would look when complete. I want to hang 2 photos here, she said, pointing to the wall behind the future reception desk. One of Mom and one of our father, both sides of our heritage watching over the work we do. Aaron nodded, understanding the symbolism. They would both be proud of what you're creating here. What we're creating, Maya corrected him. I couldn't do this without you. As they stood together in the half-finished building, Maya reflected on the journey that had brought her here. 6 months ago, she had been cleaning houses, struggling with pain, and trying to keep her daughters fed. Now she was creating a place that would help others escape the same desperate situation. The first families will be able to move in by July, she said, checking her construction timeline. 5 families to start, then more as we get the upper floors finished. How will you choose who gets to come? Aaron asked. We'll work with local hospitals and schools to identify families in immediate crisis, especially single parents with medical issues that prevent them from working. Just like you were, Aaron noted. Yes, Maya said quietly, just like I was. The summer passed quickly as Johnson House neared completion. By mid-October, exactly 1 year after the night Maya and her daughters had huddled under the Thompson Tech store awning, the building was transformed. What had once been an abandoned eyesore was now a welcoming haven, with bright windows, fresh paint, and a playground visible through the back fence. I can't believe the grand opening is tomorrow, Maya said, walking through the finished main floor with Aaron. Everything is ready. Thanks to your attention to detail, Aaron replied. You've thought of everything. Maya ran her hand along a wall in the reception area, where 2 empty picture hooks waited. Almost everything. I still need to hang the photos of Mom and Father. That afternoon, Maya's phone rang with an unfamiliar number. When she answered, a voice she hadn't heard in months spoke. Maya, it's Eleanor Stevens. Please don't hang up. Maya nearly ended the call, but curiosity won out. What do you want, Eleanor? I have something that belongs to you, Eleanor said. Something important. Could we meet? I'm very busy with the opening tomorrow. It's about your father, Eleanor interrupted. William Thompson. Richard knew him well, and there's something you should know before your foundation opens. Maya hesitated, then agreed to meet Eleanor at a cafe near Johnson House in 1 hour. When she arrived, Eleanor was already seated, looking as polished as ever, though somewhat less confident than Maya remembered. Thank you for coming, Eleanor said as Maya sat down. You have 5 minutes? Maya replied coldly. What's this about my father? Eleanor reached into her handbag and pulled out a small stack of letters, held together by a faded ribbon. Richard and your father were business associates for over 30 years. They were also friends, though Richard never mentioned that to you. Maya frowned. Why would he? Because William asked him to check on you. Eleanor pushed the letters toward Maya. These are from your father to Richard. He knew about you, Maya. He asked Richard to quietly keep an eye on you when you moved to Boston 5 years ago. Maya stared at the letters, her heart pounding. That can't be true. If Richard knew who I was, why would you treat me so terribly? Why would you fire me when I was injured? Eleanor's perfectly composed face crumbled slightly. Because Richard never told me. He kept it to himself following William's request for discretion. I only found these letters last month while sorting through Richard's office after he had a minor stroke. With shaking hands, Maya opened the top letter. She immediately recognized the Thompson Tech letterhead and ran her fingers over the signature at the bottom. William Thompson, written in strong, confident strokes. Read it, Eleanor urged. Maya began reading aloud. Richard, I appreciate your confirmation that Maya Johnson has indeed moved to Boston. As you know, her mother Jessica never wanted me involved in their lives, a decision I painfully respected. But I cannot help wanting to know that my daughter is well. Please continue to discreetly monitor her situation without revealing our connection. I've provided for her in my will, though I doubt she will ever know the full truth during my lifetime. Maya looked up, stunned. He knew about me all along? Apparently so, Eleanor said. Richard betrayed his promise by not telling you after William died. When Victor Blackwood took over the estate matters, Richard assumed the proper arrangements were being made. He had no idea Victor was stealing from you. And when I fell down your stairs, Maya asked bitterly, was Richard following my father's wishes then? Eleanor had the grace to look ashamed. Richard was in London on business that week. I made that decision on my own without knowing who you were. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Maya. I behaved terribly. I just thought you should have these letters before tomorrow. They belong to you. Maya gathered the letters carefully and stood to leave. Thank you for bringing these. It doesn't change what happened, but it helps me understand my father better. The next morning dawned clear and cool. Perfect weather for the grand opening ceremony. A small stage had been set up in front of Johnson House with chairs for about 100 guests and a podium bearing the Thompson Family Foundation logo. In her office at the back of the building, Maya prepared for her speech. The twins sat nearby, dressed in their best clothes, excited to be part of the important day. Are you nervous, Mom? Lily asked. A little, Maya admitted, adjusting her jacket. This is the biggest thing I've ever done. You'll be great, Daisy said confidently, her stutter completely gone. Just talk like you talk to us. Aaron knocked and entered, looking sharp in a suit. The guests are arriving. How are you feeling? Maya took a deep breath. Ready. But first. She pulled out 2 framed photographs. I need to hang these. Together, they hung the photos behind her desk. Jessica Johnson on the left, William Thompson on the right. Maya stood back and looked at her parents, now reunited in this place that would help others. Perfect, Aaron said softly. By 11 o'clock, all the seats were filled with reporters and photographers lining the sides of the audience. Maya peeked out and saw familiar faces. Dr. Mitchell, Mr. Gonzalez from physical therapy, Miss Williams, Benjamin Harris, and even the FBI agent who had arrested Victor Blackwood. At the very back, partially hidden, stood Eleanor Stevens. Aaron began the ceremony with a brief introduction of the Foundation's mission. Then he turned to Maya. It is my great honor to introduce the executive director of the Thompson Family Foundation, my sister, Maya Thompson Johnson. The audience applauded as Maya walked to the podium. For the first time in a year, she walked without pain, without hesitation, her back finally healed. 1 year ago today, Maya began, her voice strong. My daughters and I were homeless. We had lost our apartment after I suffered a back injury that left me unable to work. We were living in our car until the battery died during a thunderstorm, forcing us to seek shelter. That night, by chance or fate, we huddled under the awning of a store owned by Aaron Thompson, the brother I didn't know I had. The audience was completely silent as Maya shared her story, the fall that changed everything, the struggle to keep her daughters safe, and the discovery of her true identity. Johnson House will provide not just shelter, but comprehensive support for families in crisis. Every apartment is furnished. Every family will receive medical care, job training, childcare, and therapy. We will help them rebuild their lives, just as I rebuilt mine. Maya paused, looking at her daughters in the front row. Sometimes family isn't just who you're born to, but who finds you when you need them most. And sometimes they're both. After the speech, Maya cut the ribbon across the entrance doors, officially opening Johnson House. Guests toured the facility, admiring the thoughtful details, the bright community kitchen, the children's playroom, the computer lab for job searches, the medical office staffed by volunteer doctors. 5 families had been selected as the first residents. They arrived that afternoon, escorted by foundation staff to their new apartments. The twins had volunteered to help welcome the children, showing them the playground equipment and toy collection. This is the best swing, Lily explained to a small girl clutching a worn teddy bear. It goes really high. And we have books in the reading corner, Daisy added, pointing to a cozy space filled with bookshelves. Maya watched her daughters, proud of their compassion. They understood better than most what these children were experiencing. Erin joined her, smiling at the scene. The board voted this morning. We're approving funds for 2 more housing centers, one in New York and one in Chicago. This is just the beginning. That evening, the family celebrated at Erin's home with a special dinner. The main house was transformed from the impersonal space it had been a year ago. Children's artwork hung on the walls, family photos sat on side tables, and a sense of warmth permeated every room. Later, after the twins were asleep, Maya returned to Johnson House alone. She went to her office and stood before the photographs of her parents. "We did it, Mom," she whispered to Jessica's smiling face. Then, turning to William's photo, she added, "I understand now. I wish we could have met, but part of you is here in this place." As Maya turned out the lights in her office, she paused at the window overlooking the playground where children would play tomorrow. In just 1 year, her life had transformed from desperate survival to meaningful purpose. The pain that had once defined her days had given way to healing, not just of her back, but of her heart. Maya locked the door of Johnson House and stepped into the cool night air, heading home to her family, carrying with her the knowledge that sometimes the greatest gift that can emerge from personal tragedy is the power to prevent others from experiencing the same pain. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen